उपवीतिनमुद्भवमश्रवस्तमम् ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत आनशृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम् प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती धीनामवित्रयवतु गणेशाय नमः सरस्वत्यै नमः श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ ॐ नमो भगवते रुद्राय ॐ नमस्ते रुद्रमन्यव उतोत इषवे नमः नमस्ते अस्तु धन्वने बाहुभ्यामुत ते नमः यात इषु शिवतमा शिवं बभूव ते धनुः शिवा शरव्या यातवतया नो रुद्रमृडय याते रुद्र शिवा तनूरघोरा पापकाशिनी तया नस्तनुवाशन्तमया गिरिशन्ताभिचाकशीः यामिषुङ्गिरिशन्तहस्ते बिभर्षस्तवे शिवाङ्गिरित्रतां कुरु माहि गुंसीः पुरुषं जगत् शिवेन वचसा त्वा गिरिसाक्षावदामसि यथा नः सर्वमिज्जगत यक्ष्मगुं सुमना असत् अद्य वोचतधिवक्ताः प्रथमो दैव्योऽभिषक् अहिगश्च सर्वान् जम्बयन् सर्वाश्च यातु धान्यः असौ यस्ताम्रो अरुण उत बभ्रुसु मङ्गलः ये चेमागुं रुद्रा अभितो दिक्षु श्रिता सहस्रशो वै शागुं येणयीमहे असव्यो वसर्पति नीलग्रीवो विलोहितः उतैनं गोपा अदृशन्नदृशन्नुदहार्यः उतैनं विश्वा भूतानि सदृष्टो मृडयातिनः नमो अस्तु नीलग्रीवाय सहस्राक्षाय मीडुषे अथो ये अस्य सत्त्वानो हन्तेभ्यो करन्नमः प्रमुञ्च धन्वनस्त्वमुपयोराग्नियोर्जाम् याश्च ते हस्त इषवः पराता भगवो वप अवतत्यधनुस्त्वगुं सहस्राक्षशते शुधे निशीर्य शल्यानामुखा शिवो नः सुमना भव विज्यन् धनुः कपर्दिनो विशल्यो बाणवागुम् उत अनेशन्नस्येषव आभुरस्य निषङ्गतिः याते हेतिर्मीडुष्टमहस्ते बभूव ते धनुः तयास्मान् विश्वतस्वमयक्ष्मया परिभुजा नमस्ते अस्त्वायुधाय नादताय धृष्णवे उभाभ्यामुत ते नमो बाहुभ्यां तव धन्वने परिते धन्वनो हेतिरस्मान् वृणक्तु विश्वतः अतो य इषुदिस्तवारे अस्मन्निधेहितम् नमस्ते अस्तु भगवन् विश्वेश्वराय महादेवाय त्र्यम्बकाय त्रिपुरान्तकाय त्रिकाग्निकालाय कालाग्निरुद्राय नीलकण्ठाय मृत्युञ्जयाय सर्वेश्वराय सदाशिवाय श्रीमन्महादेवाय नमः नमो हिरण्यबाहवे सेनान्ये दिशां च पतये नमो नमो वृक्षेभ्यो हरिकेशेभ्यः पशूनां पतये नमो नमः सस्पिञ्जराय कृषिमते पथीनां पतये नमो नमो बब्लुषाय विव्याधिने नानां पतये नमो नमो हरिकेशायोपवीतिने पुष्टानां पतये नमो नमो भवस्य हेत्यै जगतां पतये नमो नमो रुद्रा स्वामिने क्षेत्राणां पतये नमो नमः सूताय हन्त्याय वनानां पतये नमो नमो रोहिताय स्थपतये वृक्षाणां पतये नमो नमो मन्त्रिणे वाणिजाय कक्षाणां पतये नमो नमो भुवन्तये वारिवस्कृताय औषधीनां पतये नमो नमः उच्चैर्घोषाय क्रन्दयते पत्तीनां पतये नमो नमः कृत्स्नवीताय धावते सत्त्वनां पतये नमः नमः सहमानाय निर्व्याधिन आव्याधिनीनां पतये नमो नमः ककुभाय निषङ्गिणे सेनानां पतये नमो नमो निषङ्गिण इषुधिमते तस्कराणां पतये नमो नमो वञ्चते परिवञ्चते स्थायूनां पतये नमो नमो निचेरवे परिचरायारण्यानां पतये नमो नमः सृकाविभ्यो जिघागुंसद्भ्यो मुष्णतां पतये नमो नमो सिमद्भ्यो नक्तञ्चरभ्यः प्रकृन्तानां पतये नमो नमः उष्णीषिणे गिरिचराय कुलुञ्चानां पतये नमो नमः इषुमद्भ्यो धन्वाविभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः आतन्वानेभ्यः प्रतिदधानेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः आयच्छद्भ्यो विसृजद्भ्यश्च वो नमो नमो स्यद्भ्यो विद्यद्भ्यश्च वो नमो नमः आसीनेभ्यः शयानेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः स्वपद्भ्यो जाग्रद्भ्यश्च वो नमो नमस्तिष्ठद्भ्यो धावद्भ्यश्च वो नमो नमः सभाभ्यः सभापतिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो अश्वेभ्यो अश्वपतिभ्यश्च वो नमः नमः आव्याधिनीभ्यो विविध्यन्तीभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः उगणाभ्यस्त्रिगुंहतीभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो गृत्सेभ्यो गृत्सपतिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो व्रातेभ्यो व्रातपतिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो गणेभ्यो गणपतिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो विरूपेभ्यो विश्वरूपेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो महद्भ्यः क्षुल्लकेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो रथिभ्यो रथेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो रथेभ्यो रथपतिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः सेनाभ्यः सेनानिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः क्षत्रुभ्यः सङ्ग्रहीतृभ्यश्च वो नमो नमस्तक्षभ्यो रथकारेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः कुलालेभ्यः कर्मारेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः कुञ्जिष्टेभ्यो निषादेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः इषुकृद्भ्यो धन्वकृद्भ्यश्च वो नमो नमो मृगयुभ्यश्वनिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः श्वभ्यश्वपतिभ्यश्च वो नमः नमो भवाय च रुद्राय च नमः शर्वाय च पशुपतये च नमो नीलग्रीवाय च शितिकण्ठाय च नमः कपर्दिने च व्युक्तकेशाय च नमः सहस्राक्षाय च शतधन्वने च नमो गिरिशाय च शिपिविष्टाय च नमो मीडुष्टमाय चेषुमते च नमो ह्रस्वाय च वामनाय च नमो बृहते च वर्षीयसे च नमो वृद्धाय च संवृद्ध्वने च नमो अग्र्याय च प्रथमाय च नमो आशवे चाचिराय च नमः शीघ्रियाय च शीभ्याय च नमः ऊर्म्याय चावस्वन्याय च नमः श्रोतस्याय च द्वीप्याय च नमो ज्येष्ठाय च कनिष्ठाय च नमः पूर्वजाय चापरजाय च नमो मध्यमाय चापगल्भाय च नमो जगन्याय च बुद्ध्याय च नमः सोऽभ्याय च प्रतिसर्याय च नमो याम्याय च क्षेम्याय च नमः उर्वर्याय च खल्याय च नमः श्लोक्याय चावसान्याय च नमो वन्याय च कक्ष्याय च नमः श्रवाय च प्रतिश्रवाय च नमः आशुषेणाय चाशुरथाय च नमः शूराय चावभिन्दते च नमो वर्मिणे च वरूथिने च नमो बिल्मिने च कवचिने च नमः श्रुताय च श्रुतसेनाय च नमो दुन्दुभ्याय चाहनन्याय च नमो धृष्णवे च प्रमृषाय च नमो दूताय च प्रहिताय च नमो निषङ्गिणे चेषु धिमते च नमस्तीक्ष्णे च वेचायुधिने च नमः स्वायुधाय च सुधन्वने च नमः श्रुत्याय च पथ्याय च नमः काट्याय च नीप्याय च नमः सूर्याय च सरस्याय च नमो नाद्याय च वैशन्ताय च नमः कूप्याय च भट्याय च नमो वर्ष्याय च वर्ष्याय च नमो मेघ्याय च विद्युत्याय च नमः शीघ्रियाय च तप्याय च नमो वाद्याय च रेश्म्याय च नमो वास्तव्याय च वास्तुपाय च ॐ हर 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 ॐ नमः सोमाय च रुद्राय च नमस्ताम्राय चारुणाय च नमः शङ्गाय च पशुपतये च नमः उग्राय च भीमाय च नमो अग्रे वधाय च दूरे वधाय च नमो हन्त्रे च हनीयसे च नमो वृक्षेभ्यो हरिकेशेभ्यो नमस्ताराय नमः शम्भवे च मयोभवे च नमः शङ्कराय च मयस्कराय च नमः शिवाय च शिवतराय च नमस्तीर्थ्याय च कूल्याय च नमः पार्याय च भार्याय च नमः प्रतरणाय चोत्तरणाय च नमः आधार्याय च लाद्याय च नमः षष्ट्याय च पेन्याय च नमः सिकत्याय च प्रभार्याय च नमः इरिण्याय च प्रपथ्याय च नमः तिगुंशिलाय च क्षयणाय च नमः कपर्दिने च पुलस्तये च नमो गोष्याय च गृह्याय च नमस्तल्प्याय च गेह्याय च नमः काट्याय च गह्वरेष्ठाय च नमो हृदयाय च निवेश्याय च नमः पागुंसव्याय च रजस्याय च नमः शुष्याय च हरित्याय च नमो लोप्याय चोलप्याय च नमः पूर्व्याय च सूर्याय च नमः पर्ण्याय च पर्णशद्याय च नमो पगुरमाणाय चाभिघ्नते च नमः आखिदते च प्रखिदते च नमो वक्किरिकेभ्यो देवानागुं हृदयेभ्यो नमो विक्षीणकेभ्यो नमो विचिन्वत्केभ्यो नमः आनिर्हतेभ्यो नमः आमीवत्केभ्यः द्रापे अन्धसस्पते दरिद्रन्नीललोहिता येषां पुरुषाणाम् येषां पशूनां मा भेर्मा रोमो येषा किञ्चना ममत् या ते रुद्र शिवा तनु शिवा विश्वाह भेषजी शिवा रुद्रस्य भेषजी तया नो मृडजीवसे इमागुं रुद्राय तवसे कपर्दिने क्षयद्वीराय प्रभरामहे मतिम् यथा नः शमसद्विपदे चतुष्पदे विश्वं पुष्टं ग्रामे अस्मिन्ननातुरम् मृडानो रुद्रो तनो मयः यस्कृदिक्षयद्वीराय नमसा विधेमते यच्छञ्च योऽशमनुरायजे पिता तदश्याम तव रुद्र प्रणीतौ मानो महान्तमुतमानो अर्भकं मान उक्षन्तमुतमान उक्षितम् मानो वदीः पितरं मोत मातरं प्रियामानस्तनुवो रुद्ररीरिषः मानस्तोके तनये मान आयुषि मानो गोषु मानो अश्वेषु रीरिषः वीरान्मानो रुद्रभामितो वधेर्हविष्मन्तो नमसा विधेमते आराते गोग्न उत पूरुषग्ने क्षयद्वीराय सुम्नमस्मे ते अस्तु रक्षा च नो अधि च देव ब्रूह्यदा च नः शर्म यच्छद्विवर्हाः स्तुहि श्रुतं कर्त सदयुवानं मृगन्न भीममुपहत्नुमुग्रम् मृडाचरित्रे रुद्रस्सवानो अन्यन्ते अस्मन्निवपन्तु सेनाः परिणो रुद्रस्य हेतिर्वृणक्तु परित्वेषस्य दुर्मतिरघायोः अवस्थिरामगवद्भ्यस्तनुष्वमीढ्वस्तोकायतनयाय मृडय मीडुष्टमशिवतमशिवो नः सुमना भव परमे वृक्ष आयुधन्निधाय कृत्तिं वसान आचर पिनाकं बिभ्रदागहि विकिरित विलोहित नमस्ते अस्तु भगवः यास्ते सहस्रगुं हेतयोऽन्यमस्मन्निवपन्तु ताः सहस्राणि सहस्रधा बाहुवोस्तव हेतयः तासामीशानो भगवः पराचीनामुखाकृधि सहस्राणि सहस्रशो ये रुद्रा अधिभूम्याम् एषाकुं सहस्रयोजने वधन्वानि तन्मसि अस्मिन् महत्यर्णवेऽन्तरिक्षे भवा अधि नीलग्रीवाशितिकण्ठाः शर्वा अधः क्षमाचराः नीलग्रीवाशितिकण्ठादिवगुं रुद्रा उपश्रिताः ये वृक्षेषु सस्पिञ्जरा नीलग्रीवा विलोहिताः ये भूतानामधिपतयो विशिखासः कपर्दिनः ये अन्येषु विविध्यन्ति पात्रेषु पिबतो जनान् ये पथां पतिरक्षय ऐलभृदाय व्युधः ये तीर्थानि प्रचरन्ति सृकावन्तो निषङ्गिणः य एतावन्तश्च भूयागुंसश्च दिशो रुद्रावितस्थिरे एषागुं सहस्रयोजने वधन्वानि तन्मसि नमो रुद्रेभ्यो ये पृथिव्यां येऽन्तरिक्षे ये दिवि येषामन्नं वातो वर्षमिषभस्तेभ्यो दश प्राचीर्दश दक्षिणा दश प्रतीचीर्दशोदीचीर्दशोर्ध्वास्तेभ्यो नमस्ते नो मृडयन्तु ते यं धिष्मो यश्च नो द्वेष्टितं भोजम्भे दधामि त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात् यो रुद्रो अग्नौ यो अप्सु य ओषधीषु यो रुद्रो विश्वा भुवना विवेश तस्मै रुद्राय नमो अस्तु ये ते सहस्रमयुतं पाशा मृत्यो मर्त्याय हन्तवे तान् यज्ञस्य मायया सर्वानवयजामहे मृत्यवे स्वाहा मृत्यवे स्वाहा प्राणानां ग्रन्थिरसि रुद्रो माविशान्तकः तेनान्नेनाप्यायस्व नमो रुद्राय विष्णवे मृत्युर्मे पाहि तमुष्टुहि यस्विषु सुधन्वायो विश्वस्य क्षयति भेषजस्य यक्ष्वामहे मनसाय रुद्रं नमोभिर्देवमसुरन्दुवस्य अयं मे हस्तो भगवान् अयं मे भगवत्तरः अयं मे विश्वभेषजो यगुं शिवाभिमर्शनः ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः शञ्च मे मयश्च मे प्रियञ्च मे नुकामश्च मे कामश्च मे सौमनसश्च मे भद्रञ्च मे श्रेयश्च मे वस्यश्च मे यशश्च मे भगश्च मे द्रविणञ्च मे यन्ता च मे धर्ता च मे क्षेमश्च मे धृतिश्च मे विश्वञ्च मे महश्च मे संविच्च मे ज्ञात्रञ्च मे सूश्च मे प्रसूश्च मे सीरञ्च मे लयश्च मरुतञ्च मे मृतञ्च मे यक्ष्मञ्च मे नामयच्च मे जीवातुश्च मे दीर्घायुत्वञ्च मे नमित्रञ्च मे भयञ्च मे सुगञ्च मे शयनञ्च मे सूषा च मे सुदिनञ्च मे ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्ताम् न्यायेन मार्गेण महीं महिषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यम् समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
महागणपते नमोस्तुते
महागणपते नमोस्तुते
महागणपते नमोस्तुते
महागणपते नमोस्तुते
मातङ्गवदना नमोस्तुते
मातङ्गवदना नमोस्तुते
मातङ्गवदना नमोस्तुते
मातङ्गवदना नमोस्तुते
महागणपते नमोस्तुते
महागणपते नमोस्तुते
आदिपूजिता गणनाथ
आदिपूजिता गणनाथ
आदिपूजिता गणनाथ
आदिपूजिता गणनाथ ईश्वराम्बा प्रियनन्दना ईश्वराम्बा प्रियनन्दना साई जय जगवन्दना साई जय
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण भजोरे श्याम सुंदरा मदन गोपाला सच्चिदानंदा साई गोपाला गोपालना गोपी गोपालना गोपी गोपालना नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण भजोरे नारायण भजोरे हरि नारायण भजोरे हरि नारायण भजोरे साई नारायण भजोरे नारायण भजोरे हरि नारायण भजोरे हरि नारायण भजोरे साई नारायण भजोरे साई नारायण भजोरे नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण भजोरे हर शिव शंकर शशांक शेखर हर बम बम बोलो
शिव शंकर शशांक शेखर हर बम बोलो
हर शिव शंकर शशांक शेखर हर बम बोलो
शिव शंकर शशांक शेखर हर बम
Om Shri Sai Ram, offering my most humble and loving pranams at the divine lotus feet. Sai Ram to all of you gathered here today. On this 175th session of Samarpan, we are fortunate to have Dr. Yashaswini Kamraju as our speaker for the evening. She is the daughter of our professor, late Shri Anil Kumar Garu, who was the principal for Brindavan campus in the 1980s and the divine translator for Swami's discourses for 22 years continuously. In fact, Professor Anil Kumar Garu was one of our first Samarpan speakers in Brindavan in June 2011, and today, as the year 2025, the year of centenary celebrations, is coming to an end, we are delighted to see his daughter as the speaker. Dr. Yashaswini Kamraju belongs to the medical fraternity. She has an exemplary educational background. She holds an MD or the postgraduate degree in adult psychiatry from Hennepin County Medical Center in Minneapolis, USA, where she continued as the chief resident. Later on, furthering her specialization, she completed a fellowship in child and adolescent psychiatry at Stanford University School of Medicine, USA, honored with the Best Outgoing Student Award. She is board certified by the American Board of Psychiatry and Neurology and has been practicing in Bangalore for several years now, primarily focusing on children, adolescents, and young adults. Dr. Yashaswini provides child and adolescent psychiatric clinic services at the Sri Satya Sai Institute of Higher Medical Sciences, Whitefield, Bangalore. Currently, she is the director at the REACH Clinic in Koramangala, a dedicated child and adolescent psychiatric clinic in Bangalore. She is also the founder of the REACH Foundation for Community Services, a non-profit organization driven by the mission to promote mental wellness through prevention, awareness, and community-based interventions. The foundation provides invaluable support by offering free consultations and guidance to NGOs, assisting children, adolescents, and young adults facing various challenges. Her dedication to community service is further exemplified by her role as a consultant to non-profit organizations such as the Spastic Society of Karnataka and the Foundation for Prevention of Disability. She is also a respected teaching faculty member for their Rehabilitation Council of India approved courses. Dr. Yashaswini has authored user-friendly handbooks for childcare professionals on critical topics including ADHD, behavioral issues in children with learning disabilities, and guiding schools on behavior management in the classroom. Born into the Sai family, Dr. Yashaswini was blessed to have had Sambhashan with Swami during multiple family interviews. She and her siblings have accumulated many experiences with Swami as they closely witness their parents' spiritual journey with the Lord. Swami instructed her to become a mind doctor, a directive she fulfilled by becoming a psychiatrist. She faithfully followed his dictum, Pillalu Talluluku Sahayam, meaning help children and mothers. And so her professional career focuses primarily on working with children and parents. We now invite Dr. Yashaswini Kamraju to share her experiences and lessons learned with Swami. Please welcome Dr. Yashaswini Kamraju. Dr. Yashaswini Kamaraju.
Little high. It's fine. Yeah. Pranams to the lotus feet of Bhagwan Baba. Respected elders, dear brothers and sisters, Sai Ram to all of you. I'm still not able to believe that I'm standing here today. This is a sacred moment for me. This is a place where devotion met translation. Bhagwan's discourses on numerous occasions were translated by our father, Professor Anil Kumar. Our uncle, Dr. K.S. Ratnakar, also addressed Samarpan on one occasion. This feels surreal as I still feel I'm sitting here along the darshan lines as a young girl. It is a sacred moment indeed. This program was postponed twice, and each time, and I thought they would get an experienced speaker. This is not my subject matter expertise at all. When I asked the sisters, who selects the speaker? Can you ask them to call someone? They said, what do you mean, who selects the speakers? It's Swami who selects the speakers. So I really understood the devotion, dedication of the Anantapur sisters, and I feel Swami has squeezed my ear and brought me here. I live a rather silent life, so yes, it's indeed is unbelievable to be here. I was asked to share my experiences with Bhagwan. My siblings and I were blessed with the opportunity of speaking, seeing, and seeking the Lord only through our parents. Our parents were blessed to have a long journey with the Lord. Living with God is education. Witnessing their journey with God also has been an education for us. All of us are soaked in the glory of centenary celebration. Every nook and corner of the planet marked the 100th year of the Avatar. We truly witnessed spiritual and intercontinental festivities. Once in a lifetime opportunity, of course. When the world is divided, Bhagavan unites the world here. Lokamul ilalo kallolamai badiyunta Sanmargavartana salupu koraku Shmabharamu bapa Mabharamu bapa Bhudevi manupu koraku. When the world is ridden with conflicts and wars, the Avatar descends on earth to restore the path of virtue and to relieve Mother Earth the burden of vice, bringing all ethnicities, communities, religions, and nations under one single roof where people are able to look at each other, see eye to eye, sit next to each other is the biggest miracle of the age. This is the golden age of Bhagavan Sri Sat Sai Baba. I know my sheep and my sheep know me, said Lord Jesus Christ. Bhagavan knew us, we knew him, we are drawn to him. I will not forsake you, even if you forsake me, said Bhagavan. What more do we need? He laid the path for centuries. His compassion cannot be counted in years. This is a pivotal moment for all of us to reflect. How far have we come in the journey with the Lord? Have we understood, grasped, and assimilated the Sai gospel? Just like Lord Krishna, after delivering the celestial song of Gita on the battlefield, tells Arjuna, O Arjuna, I revealed all this wisdom to you. Reflect upon it. Reflect upon it fully, and then act as you wish. Yatha ichchasi tatha kuru. Act as you wish. Bhagwan taught us through his discourses the wisdom of the ages in the simplest, easiest, and applicable format. Grandhamulanniyu galinchi chuchina satya sai paluku satyavaku. Vedamulanni vedaki chuchina satya sai paluku satyavaku. ధర్మశాస్త్రములన్నీ శోధించి చూచిన సత్యసాయి పలుకు సత్యవాక్కు. గాయత్రి మంత్రంబు ఘనముగ చెప్పిన సత్యసాయి పలుకు సత్యవాక్కు. What do we find in Swami's teachings and discourses? The essence of Vedas, the essence of Shastras and sacred texts. It is time that we reflect on how we understood the Lord and what is our work. What should we be focusing right now on this auspicious centennial year? Let us reminisce Bhagwan's teachings on how to live our life and lead our life, which is the very foundation of the Samarpan program. Vrindavan holds a special place in our lives. Our father had good orientation lessons at Vrindavan. He had a beautiful time in Guntur, which is our native place. He was born, brought up, went to college, worked there, and Swami wanted him to come to Vrindavan. So I remember my siblings and I were blessed with many darshans. So we had the opportunity of interacting with Bhagwan. I vividly remember an occasion when Swami told me, "Pillalaki tallulaki sahayam chey bangaru, sangha seva chey." Help children and their mothers serve the society. After I completed my education, I returned to Bangalore. I stumbled upon this non-profit organization called Spastic Society of Karnataka, one of the foremost and the first of its kind in serving children with neurodevelopmental disorders and pediatric neurorehabilitation. As I entered their campus, I saw lush green trees, exuding peace, airy spaces, beautiful playgrounds. Children were playing, and their mothers were helping them, as some of these children had developmental disorders. As I entered the director's room, she asked me to be seated next to an empty chair. Upon inquiry, the director told me that Bhagwan inaugurated the building and also told them that it would be one of the best institutes to serve the underprivileged and underserved sections of the community far and wide. It immediately struck me the Sangha Seva, the words Baba told me right at that minute. I'm grateful to be a part of their team which operates on Swami's principles of serving the needy. I'm also grateful to be a part of Satsai hospitals here at Whitefield, where I'm amongst the team members of highly renowned and experienced psychiatrists as a part of our team. Indeed, I'm blessed to be amongst them. Baba is all-knowing. He knows where one belongs, and he places them right at the right place, in the right situation, at the right time. We all come to Baba at a student phase, Vidyarthi phase. Students like to accumulate knowledge through all sources, reading books, hearing from others, all external sources, gathering information about others' experiences. And the classic question after an interview with Baba was always, "What did Baba tell you?" Baba has mixed approaches. He gives mixed approaches to mixed groups. Just as in Mahabharata, all the Pandavas were given different roles, different duties, and different paths to their life. So Swami gives unique tasks to all of us. A Vidyarthi operates at the level of the mind because a Vidyarthi sees Baba externally. You ask Swami and Swami answers them. So Vidyarthi is in communication with the Lord, seeing the Lord externally. I remember an occasion during an interview when Swami was talking to all of us in the interview room, and my sister asked him, Swami, what seva should we be doing? Swami lovingly replied, Ichina vruttini, chestunna panini, Shraddhato bhaktito cheyandi bangaru. Swami ki ade chalu. Whatever task is given to you, do it with sincerity and devotion. That is enough for Swami. A lady in the interview room asked Bhagwan, Swami, I have many family problems, many challenges, many troubles in my family. I'm not able to bear them. How can you help me? Baba replied, family is your sadhana. Family teaches you tolerance, forbearance, compassion. Carry on your duties well. An IIT professor in the room asked Swami, Swami, I'm a busy man. I don't have time. How can I find God? He must have been a Bangalorean. A typical Bangalorean commutes 2 to 2.5 hours to work. How do I find God, Swami? I'm a busy man. Swami replied, you're born to be a professor. Teach your students lovingly. Mold them, motivate them, and inspire them. You're given this job as a professor not to complete the curriculum, but to inspire your students. Swami always emphasized on Swadharma, doing our duty which is given to us and walking on the path that is given to us. Yogam karma muchyate. Yoga is action. Yogam karmashu kaushalam. Yoga is skill in action. Dharmaja and Arjuna would be given different question papers. They would be graded differently as well. Similarly, we are all graded differently based on the path, based on the tasks we are given. It isn't that one is closer to God and one is farther to God. It doesn't work like that. He exactly knows what to give us. Why does he give us unique paths? Because he wants us to hone, to grow in our existing strengths and to overcome our weaknesses in the specific path that is given to us. So Baba lovingly answered all questions. He must answered all the questions to you. Baba, should I do MBA? Which city should I reside? Should I marry? Should I not marry? He answered all those questions because at a student stage, he becomes a loving mother and a teacher. But once the student stage is about to complete, he expects a different level of understanding. Just like a mother would feed young children, but for a grown-up child, a mother expects, you're old enough to do your things by self, but call me when you need me. A gentleman asked Swami, Swami, you speak about Atma or consciousness. I don't understand. Swami replied, Oh, నీకు అర్థం కావట్లేదా బంగారు? ఒకటో తరగతిలోనే ఉండిపో. You don't understand? Stay back in first grade. Once the student stage is completed, Swami wants further refinement. A student is happy when things happen, when the desires are not fulfilled. A student gets disappointed. But the Lord consoles them and protects them and guides them. A student operates at the level of Dehananda, bliss emanating from the body. But then Swami wants further refinement, which is what? From a Vidyarthi, the student, to Sishya, the disciple. The Sishya, the disciple, he expects better clarity of purpose, deeper commitment to the Lord. Just like for young children, teachers correct their papers very diligently every day. But once you're at a university level, the everyday checking stops. The master's methods change. I recall our father's morning rituals. Early in the morning, with 2 cups of hot coffee, he would sit with our grandmother. No bhajans in our house, no Nagar Sankirtan, no bhajan, no prayers, not even namaskars to Swami, not even looking at his picture. The first thing our father would do, take 2 cups of coffee, sit with our grandmother. And then they would discuss every topic under the sun, conversations, discussions, question and answer sessions. My grandmother would correct our father's write-ups. With a red ink, she would circle the spelling mistakes. She would correct his vocabulary, and with a green ink pen, put the arrows down to change the sequence of his thoughts. This continued for decades, till one fine day, Swami calls our father to come to Vrindavan as a principal. And from then on, Baba started correcting his papers. I recall an incident when Ram Brahmangaru showed our father the house that just across to Trai. Mr. Anil Kumar, this is going to be your house. Father said, sir, can you give me a house a little further? This is too close for comfort. I need a little space from God. I don't want God all the time. 24-hour supervision, 24 observation. Please give me a house a little far. Ram Brahmangaru replied, no, this is not your college. The orders are given. Swami is inaugurating your home. Be ready. Swami inaugurates our home, spends good time with parents, tells them that everything would be good. Immediately Ram Brahmangaru catches my father. Hey, don't get too excited. This is not your college. Be attentive and alert every single moment you're with the Lord. These were the golden words that Ram Brahmangaru's golden words were etched in our father's heart throughout his life, and they immensely benefited him in the journey with the Lord. I also recall an instant when Swami, one fine morning, came out of Trai with 2 bags. He goes to his students and asks them to choose one of the bags. It had a suit material. Boys chose gray suit. He comes to the father. Father chose blue suit. But then Swami says to our father, my boys chose gray suit, so I want you to get this gray suit stitched for you. So those days, finding tailors was difficult. So post-morning darshan, fathers ventures out to go to Shivaji Nagar. So remember, those were the days where there were no mobile phones, no GPS, no Google location. So you would carry the address on a sheet of paper and then venture out finding the address, which would take half day or more than a half day. Anticipating such situations, like all women do, if this doesn't work, this works. So women are very anticipatory in nature. They have backup plans. My mother wanted our father to learn Kannada because it might help him if he continues to be in Bangalore. So she asked a gentleman, sir, please help him with Kannada. The gentleman, after a month, comes and tells us, Amma, I cannot teach him Kannada. This is not possible. So why, sir? But I've learned enough Telugu that I can follow Swami's speeches. I am done with the Kannada. I cannot teach him Kannada. Please leave me. So Kannada lessons failed. So father moved a couple of buses, finally ends up with the tailor. The tailor opens the bag. So who gave you this material? It's fantastic material, such a beautiful material to look at. And then the tailor opens the envelope on the top of the suit. Father assumed it had extra buttons because typically suits have extra glittery buttons. To the surprise of the tailor, there was money in it. The tailor starts counting the money. And to his astonishment, he finds it was the exact amount that he would charge his customers. The tailor asks, sir, who is your friend? How did he know that I would charge exact amount to my customers? Please thank your friend. Also, please tell him to send some more customers. I need more customers. See, those days there was no internet. All the business would be word of mouth. So father tells him, please stitch it well. It's a very important person in my life. And then he leaves. So father prepared the boys beforehand. because knowing that he would be late. If Swami asks for me, tell him that I'm busy with examinations. So father missed the evening darshan after missing a couple of buses, ends up at Brindavan quite late. During the evening darshan, Swami asks the boys, Edira mi principal, where is your principal? The boys replied, Swami is busy with examinations. After 15 minutes, where is your principal? Swami, he is busy with examinations. Swami said, are you writing exams right from morning till evening? Answer change cheyandira. Prashniki taggattu answer cheppandira. Change your answers. Give the answer that matches to the question. Then father missed the evening darshan, goes to morning darshan the next day. Swami comes out. Anil. So Swami used to call our father Anil when it was an intimate, one-on-one conversation. He was called as Anil by his closest Andhra Christian college friends who loved him dearly. And in a group, Swami used to call him Anil Kumar. This Anil had lessons, inputs, corrections, big dose of medicine, if you may call. Anil Kumar, subtler, gentler corrections in a group. It was nice for us to see this transition and the sweet gesture of the Lord. Swami asks him, how is Shivaji Nagar? Good, Swami. How is your tailor? Good, Swami. Did you tell him to stitch your suit well? Yes, Swami. Then comes the lesson. You were at the tailor. Why did you tell the boys that you were busy with examinations? Did I not travel with you to Shivaji Nagar? Was I not there with you while you were talking to the tailor? Am I not in the tailor? Do I not know the conversation? Do you not know that I am in you, around you, above you? Says the Lord. So Swami watches, observes the Sishya or the disciple very closely. He catches the disciple instantly, consistently when they fumble. Why is it difficult for us to experience his omnipresence, especially when we are in proximity with him? Because he talks about our careers, families. I also remember a statement that he made once about the kitchen in this house. Ee kitchenu mee Guntur kitchen kanna chala baundi. This kitchen is far better than your kitchen in Guntur. When Baba talks about kitchens, families, careers, we get carried away in the Maya. Maya manusha veshaviladhara. So we get carried away in the Maya. But what does he want from a Sishya or the disciple? Refinement, nice polishing, redesign, recrafting the personality totally. So for a Sishya or the disciple, Baba prompts from within. He becomes the indweller. For a student or a Vidyarthi, Baba is external. You are in communication with him. For a Sishya or the disciple, he is the indweller. He is prompting from within. I also remember another court incident. There were a lot of court incidents in our father's orientation days at Brindavan. Swami was going to attend a wedding in the city. The wedding was the daughter of an industrialist. His father was also invited to attend the wedding. The industrialist gives a separate invitation for our father. Mr. Anil Kumar, I would be very happy if you attend the wedding. So next morning, father got dressed with his new suit, really dressed, assuming that Swami would take him in the car. Because those days, Swami was taking him wherever he went. The car came out of the Trai. Father was standing. Swami completely ignored this direction, sat in the car with the devotees, and the car left to the city. By then, some orientation lessons were sinking in our father. So he's getting a taste of what is it to be closer to the Lord. So he understood he was not needed. So he left, he went home, changed, and went to the college. And in the evening, Swami says, Anil Kumar, where were you? I was searching for you. Half an hour you didn't come. I was getting late, so I had to leave because you are found nowhere. So why does the Lord do this? because he wants to know the response of the disciple or the Sishya. Because how deep are you in the spiritual growth when you're in front of me? So Baba wants a Sishya or the disciple to develop spiritual proximity, not the physical proximity. It is the dearness that he wants, not the nearness. Over a period of time, he refines the Sishya so well. It's just like a drilling machine. You know how a drilling machine works? When it goes in, the sound is mild. It goes deeper, drrr, it's big sound. And it goes inside. So Swami, when he's working and refining the devotees, initially it's mild. So the lessons start from the coat, and then they go to the core. That's the defining process what Bhagwan does. So over a period of time, the Sishya understands the Lord's methods. So the Guru follows a disciple follows the Guru. And over a period of time, the Sishya or the disciple offers his worldly challenges, problems, conflicts, decision making at the Lord's feet. How does a Sishya or a disciple do that? Mayi sarvani karmani samnyasyadhyatma chetasa nirashir nirmamo bhutva yudhyasva vigatajvaraha. With the mind fixated on me, leave all your efforts at my feet without expectations or desire for the result. It's quite hard, isn't it? Working for Swami is difficult, and no desires or expectations. But that's what he wants, a Sishya or a disciple. Follow me, pay attention to me, walk in my path. So a Sishya is able to pay attention to the Lord, although he is in the world. So we would be pulled this way, that way by the world. But he wants as Sishyas to pay attention to him. Sustain your attention on me. Like Saint Tyagaraja says, Chakani Raja Margamu Lundaga. There's a royal highway. Walk on the path to reach the Lord, to seek the Lord. Don't get distracted. No diversions, no detours required. Follow the Lord. So the Sishya, over a period of time, is following the Lord, and he operates at the level of the heart. Chittananda. So the Sishya follows the Guru follows the Sishya. This is an incessant flow of love. Their association is one of continuity until eternity. Baba then wants further refinement of the Sishya or the disciple. What is the next stage? He wants the Sishya or a disciple to become Bhakta, the devotee. Who is a devotee of the Lord? Baba once said, మీరందరూ నా భక్తులని చెప్పుకుంటున్నారు, మీరు కాదు చెప్పాల్సింది, నేను చెప్పాలి వీడు నా భక్తుడని. All of you claim and proclaim your devotees. I should call you as my devotee, is what Bhagwan said. Who is a devotee of the Lord? The city of Ayodhya was decorated beautifully to receive Lord Rama, Lakshmana and Sita upon their return from the exile. People were happy. There were lights all over, beautiful buildings. People were climbing the trees to get a glimpse of the Lord, unable to bear the separation from the Lord. Just like our centenary, lights everywhere, bhajans, drums, Anantapur bhajans, Brindavan campus, Veda group, bhajan group, the whole place of Ayodhya was reverberating with Lord Nama, with Rama Nama, increasing by the moment. As the chariot started to come in the lanes, all the people were showering rose petals in the lanes. And people were excited to catch the glimpse of Lord Rama. People started bowing to the Lord when they saw the chariot coming towards them. The Lord, whom they thought was Lord Rama, sweetly gestures to people, asks them to look behind. This was Bharata who was riding the chariot. There was Rama, Lakshmana, and Sita in the chariot. People were surprised to see a striking resemblance between Bharata and Lord Rama. How can they be so similar? They could not distinguish Bharata from Rama. King Bharata was ruling his kingdom with Rama Padukas, guiding him and protecting him. He was having Lord Rama in his mind, body, and soul. So he was emanating Brahmananda, soaked in the bliss of the Lord. Becoming of the master is essential to become a bhakta. Cultivating the master's traits and personality is required to become the master unto yourself. Brahmavit brahmaiva bhavati. The knower of the Brahman is the Brahman itself. So Bhagavan demands us to learn the traits and personality that he emanates. What kind of bhaktas does Bhagavan want? What is he looking for? Satyamena pracharamu. Baba is truth. Let my life be one of truth. Dharmamena acharamu. Baba is righteous. Baba is dharma. Let my life be one of righteous life. Let me not do adharmic acts. Let me walk on the dharma. Shantiyena svabhavamu. Baba is peace. Let me be peaceful. You know, Bangaloreans, once they go home after heavy deadlines, pressure from the boss, chaotic traffic, then you go home, then you might be having night calls. There's a lot of pressure to live in metropolitan cities. If you're peaceful by the end of the day, that's 50% sadhana. That is shantiyena svabhavamu. Premayena swarupamu. Baba is love. Let us be loving. Let us be loving to people around us. Let us expand the circle of love to our immediate friends, families, community, society, nation, and the world. Expansion is love. This is the devotee that Bhagavan wants from us. Is this possible in this age? Is this possible in this dizzying pace of technological advances? Is it possible? Should we strive for it? Yes. The descent of the Lord is for the ascent of man. So we need to strive to become the better devotees day by day. But we need to hold ourselves, center ourselves to connect to the Lord. In this fast-paced world, everything is speed and race. How do we do it? There should be a conscious focus towards our HI, the human intelligence or the intelligence of the heart. We are bombarded by technology, messages, apps, algorithms, search engines, instant payments, instant messages, instant deliveries. Our mind isn't focused. We're not able to be silent at all. It's only in silence that the voice of God can be heard. We need stillness in this technological age. The young minds of this generation need to be molded well as young children are using technology more and more. I recall a parent asking me, how does my child know between right and wrong? Because there's so many versions on the technology. One says do this, one says the other one. How do we know? It's very essential to understand who we are, what we are at a fundamental level. What we see these days, of course we have air pollution, noise pollution, but what we see these days is audio-visual pollution. Our brains are overloaded with information. News, fake news, real news, events happening in the world, lives of others, awards, achievements of others. All of these bombard our brains just with a tap. The minute we wake up, till we retire, our brain is overloaded. Just imagine we're carrying all this load and walking like machines. There's no mental space to connect to the Lord. Who are we? Who am I? What is my path? Where should I go? What is my goal? There's no space, there's no time for us. So we need to look for that. Like Bhagavan says, Janmacheta janulu parisuddha hrudayule పాడు చేయుచుండు పరిసరములు. అంతరాత్మబోధ ఆలకింపుడు మీరు. మమత సమత మనుజ హక్కు కాదే, హక్కు కాదే. Human beings are born sacred. It's the environment that robs them of the sanctity. Listen to your inner voice. Love, equality, and humanity are the birthrights of every citizen. So we need to screen what we dwell upon in our minds. We need to screen what enters our brains. Brains have a mind of their own, so we need to screen what information gets in. We need to also remove the information that's not needed because it obstructs our potential, it obstructs our growth and also in our spiritual growth. So what is required? What we're seeing as of today is the pollution of the minds. Mind pollution of the digital age is the real pollution that is rising day by day because of unrestricted use of technology. So what do? So we need to cleanse, condition, and train our minds. How do you do that? Namasmarana, seva, satsanga, meditation, and mindfulness. Mindful thinking is very essential. Baba also wants us to do sadhana. The minute we say sadhana, in our current busy lives, oh my, I don't have time. Sadhana sounds like a big word. Swami, give me something simple. Don't give me sadhana, adhyatmikata. Give me something simple. We are Bangaloreans. We're very busy, Swami. We're looking at if AI language models are working well. We have to ask ChatGPT to get the answer. We're also looking at how to fix potholes, our traffic problems. We are worried about economy. We are worried about so many things. We have to like messages on Insta. We have to answer all our WhatsApp messages. By the time you leave the gate, you have 5 WhatsApp messages, and then someone forwards you that your friend got an award. Is this fair, Swami? Yesterday was prasadam packing at Brindavan. I participated prasadam packing. I went for satsanga. The award goes to my friend. How fair is this, Swami? Are you not counting my account? Please check my account. Centenary, I was there 10 days, Swami. I heard all the meetings, speeches, bhajans. I enjoyed, Swami. Are you not looking my account? Please look at my account. I do so much of seva, Swami. Maybe you missed the centenary. Please dig into the last 3 months. Last year, I donated some money to an elderly lady. Did you forget? How did the award go to him? And then you open your LinkedIn. Somebody gets promoted. Oh my God, how did this guy end up at Apple? He was not so smart. Oh Swami, what is this? You're not counting my credit points. Let me do something. My parents must have done some seva. Can you borrow some credit points and put in my account? There must be some points left. I want their points. Keep it in my account and count and give me what I need. But one caveat, Swami, I cannot live in Puttaparthi. And another clause, I cannot work as hard as them because we are busy Bangaloreans. We need to make videos. We need to see who is the latest influencer. I need to watch the content. Who is a good content maker? Please don't ask me to work as hard as my parents. Give me some easy sadhana, Swami. This is current times, AI age. Please update the sadhana. Then Swami says, okay, you can't do big things. Do this. Simple sadhana. Love everyone. Everyday spirituality. Treat everyone with respect, kindness, and love. With people around you. Start with your own people and then expand it gradually. It's easy to love people who are below us. Easy to love people who are above us. You're taking a walk on the road. You see an elderly man, no proper clothes, looks malnourished. You immediately look for your pockets. Can I give some food? What do I have in my pockets? You look for your handbags for food, or let me give him some money. Our heart melts because he's below us. Someone is at a higher level. We like them. We can love them because love above us is admiration. The love for people below us is empathy and sympathy. The most difficult thing, Baba says, you cannot do big sadhanas. Love everyone equal to you. Oh my God, equal to us? Equal to us, they have same aspirations, they have same talent, they're applying for same things. The other doctor is applying for an international journal paper, so I have to love somebody. Very difficult. But he wants us to love people who are equal to us, same aspirations, same goals, same talent, if not a better talent. Love people equally. Baba wants us to love people above us, below us, equal to us equally. Okay, Swami, I will try that sadhana, but seems to be very difficult. Equals, comparison sets in, competition. How come you blessed him? How come you didn't bless me? All the comparison and competition sets in with equals. So, he wants us to love everyone equally, which is a sadhana. From the womb to the tomb. That's a very difficult sadhana to do, although it appears very easy to say. Then, everyday generosity. Be generous, be patient and tolerant. Do small tasks with great love. Swami, I can't do big seva activities, very difficult. I'm not able to finish the things that I have. We are running out of time. If 24 hours is not enough for Bangaloreans, maybe small cities, small places can do it, not us. Give us something simple. So Baba says, 2 small tasks with great love. Like Mother Teresa said, if you can't feed 100, feed 1. Hunger is not necessarily physical. There is emotional hunger as well. What is emotional hunger? We see people with unhealed pain, isolation, rejection, feelings of not being acknowledged, feelings of not being appreciated, emotional stress, psychological stress. It's all accumulated inside. Be patient with them. A word of support, a word of encouragement. Be patient with them. Do not discriminate people with emotional problems and physical problems. Typically, emotional problems are always intertwined with physical problems. So Swami wants us to be generous with our patience. And then, do this, Bangaru, and a little more. What is that? Everyday compassion. Be compassionate every day. So what does he expect in terms of compassion? Recently, this happened in Karnataka, of course. A high court judge comes out of the courtroom with judgment in her hands. An old man lost his leg in an accident. He was unable to attend the courtroom on time. He was struggling to catch up those steps and enter inside. The judge comes out of the courtroom, declares the judgment on the steps of the courtroom, outside the courtroom. This is compassion in daily living. All of us have innumerable opportunities to be compassionate during the course of the day. This is spirituality in daily living. And compassion, not necessarily only for outsiders. We need to be compassionate to ourselves too. A disciple goes to Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. Master, I committed a blunder in the morning. I'm very worried. It's eating me up. What should I do? The master tells the disciple, look, this is evening. You did the mistake in the morning. Be compassionate to yourself. Leave the guilt. So compassion is letting go of the guilt, bitterness, anger that we accumulate. We need to let go of people who do not align to our path. Let go of people who do not appreciate you. Let go of people who pull your self-confidence. Let go of people who do not encourage you. Don't cling for appreciation and acknowledgement from people. People can owe you many things they cannot give you. It's only the Lord who can give you. End of the day, it's between you and the Lord, you and the Lord. When we say let go of people, how do you let go of people? It's letting go of people from your heart. Not angry looks, not fights, not insults, not hating them, not punishing them. Letting go of people from your heart. Because what happens with the heart? All stains are sitting on the heart. There's latest technology. Medical field is advancing by the day. There are chips that can be implanted in the brain, where a paralyzed man with a brain-computer interface can move the limb. And the medical advances are such that down the lane, you might see your own ultrasound on the phone. You can get your own report. This is personalized medicine. With this technology, everything can happen. But no one has a test or a score to the stains in the heart, to the heaviness that we carry. There is CT angio of the heart. A calcium score can be obtained to the heart just to see if you're prone to the blocks. But there's nothing in terms of emotional stain, bitterness, anger, agitation, hatred towards other people. There's nothing as of yet. So we need to clean up the stains. How do you clean up the stains? You need to rewire the brain. First of all, one has to be compassionate. If you're not compassionate, you cannot do that. You need to remove the stains. Make it crystal clear. Ishvara Hridde se. When you're saying Lord is in my heart, I need to keep it clean. It needs to be crystal clear. Rewiring of the thinking is required. So brain is something like a sponge. You know there is a pothole. Every day you're walking towards the pothole. What happens? Every day you're falling. It's like driving. When you're driving, the main road is blocked. What do? You take a U-turn. You see if the left side of the road is open, then you take a left. Over a period of time, you're used to taking this left side. But then, after a few months, the main road opens. But you're still using the left side. Why? It's a muscle memory. The memory neurons make you keep going because the rewiring in the brain continuously rewires. The brain is moldable like plastic. It's called neuroplasticity. Initially, neuroscientists believed that the brain can be taught only in the early developmental years. But the current neuroscience says, no, you can teach your brain. Your brain is adaptable, it can learn. But you need to repeat, like the corporates say, repeat, rinse and revise. You need to keep teaching it the right habits. So don't go, you're angry, bitterness, rewire, create new pathways in the brain. And your brain is malleable and adaptable. But how do you do that? Who's going to help us with that? Abide in me, and I abide in you. For the branch cannot bear fruit unless it abides in the vine. Neither can you unless you abide in me, says Lord Jesus Christ. Follow in accordance to my teachings. So let us hold the divine Master's feet to help us, to show us the way. చెప్పు మాటలకు చేయు పనులకును సామ్యముండెడివాడే సాధువగునరయ్యా. The one who does what he says is the real sadhaka. May we offer this samarpan to self-evaluate, to self-assess our journey with the Lord from a student to the vidyarthi, to a sishya or the disciple, to a bhakta or a devotee. To be born in the Sai Yuga is a gift for life. To find Baba as a teacher is a boon for a student. To follow Baba as a disciple is pure grace. To become his message is the true devotee. Bhagavan wants us to become the devotees of that expectation. Our lives have new meaning now. There's a distinction between pre-centenary and post-centenary. The world is watching us. Baba's teachings are reverberating across the cosmos. The world expects high standards from Sai devotees. Sai devotees will be held to high standards of equality. Sai devotees would be held to high standards of morality, high standards of humanity, and high standards of spirituality. We all need to rise up to that expectation as Sai devotees, and that is the gift we can offer to the Lord as we celebrate the centennial year. Let us not restrict Baba to mandirs. The Brindavan that we experience here, carry the Brindavan in our hearts. Apply the Brindavan principles outside the gate. Carry the Brindavan wherever we go, whatever we do. That is what the Lord is expecting us. He is expecting this from us. He guides us and protects us and molds us to do this. And that's the real expectation of Baba devotees. May the world identify Baba devotees not by our attires, not by our appearances, but by our attitude. May the world identify Baba devotees not by our badges, but by our benevolence. May the world identify Baba devotees not by our greetings, but by our conduct. So this is what we need to show the world. We all need to rise up to this centennial year. I see some senior faculty here. My warm regards to the senior faculty and the seniors here. May you guide and direct the young generation with your expertise and experience, beyond all, your dedication. To be born again, you need to die to the past, said Jesus Christ. Let us all together start a new life with new beginnings and new awareness in the centennial year. I sincerely thank Sisters of Anantapur for giving me this opportunity, and I extend my warm wishes to the alumni across campuses. May you become the torch bearers of Sai legacy for generations to come. Thank you all. Jai Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, we have all been transported to the time of Bhagwan's physical presence this evening. Thank you, Dr. Yashaswini Garu. You interspersed your speech with songs just as Swami would, almost at the same voice in which Swami sang, and it touched me, and I'm sure a lot of us very deeply today. You have also shown us through your words, through your life, through your actions, how to obey Swami's words with implicit obedience. I'm sure many of us have received answers to our doubts and questions through your talk today. Your insights that you have shared generously, I'm sure has given a lot of wisdom to people having doubts about different aspects of whether living in Bangalore, living in AI age, or how to handle and take Swami's teachings into our current life and live it properly. The practical daily lessons, the revelations that Bhagwan has given to your family, which you have shared very generously to us today. Thank you so much for sharing them. I am sure all of us will return today with a renewed desire to live our life in a way that Bhagwan declares that we are fit to be called his devotees, to make use of the descent of the Lord for us to ascend, so that we become fit to be called his devotee. I now request Lama Aunty to please felicitate our speaker for the day. On behalf of the organizers of Samarpan this evening, I wish to place our gratitude to the Sri Satya Sai Seva Organization, Karnataka South, the Brindavan Management Committee, the Sri Satya Sai Seva Dal for all their help in organizing this evening's program. I also wish to thank the audiovisual team of the Brindavan Hostel for the audiovisual arrangements. Gratitude to Sri Satya Sai Hostel Brindavan for the delicious prasadam that they have arranged for us. I also wish to thank our lovely audience today. Your engaging presence today makes this evening a very memorable one. We are grateful to our Bhagwan for giving us this opportunity to offer this Samarpan at his lotus feet. A few announcements following. The medical camp conducted by our alumni and the Bhakti Bhava Anandam are both being conducted on January 4th, 2026. The next Samarpan program is on January 18th, 2026. A very happy new year in advance to everyone. We request all to participate in the Trai Pradakshina after Aarati and accept prasadam after the Pradakshina. Thank you. Sai Ram.
ॐ जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी सत्य साई हरे भक्त जना संरक्षक भक्त जना संरक्षक पति महेश्वरा ॐ जय जगदीश हरे शशिवदना श्रीकरा सर्वा प्राणपते स्वामी सर्वा प्राणपते सुखिनो